All right, Yang Gang, here's the deal. About 4 weeks ago, or maybe more, I don't know exactly when, Jonathan Herzog published an attack ad on his Facebook. And this ad was basically attacking Jerry Nadler, saying that he is not a good candidate, he doesn't actually do anything for the people, and that he, isn't that great, and that Jonathan is the better candidate. Basically, that's what the ad was saying. Now, the ad was great. It did really well. It had a lot of likes. It had a lot of shares. But what he noticed, and what he shared on Twitter and on YouTube through interviews, was that he noticed that after he posted the ad, about a few hours later, he went to google.com and searched up his name. And when he searched up his name, clicked on the news tab, he found that his results were manipulated. Now, normally, before this ad, I'm pretty sure you could go search up Jonathan Herzog, go to the news tab, and you would see articles that relate to his campaign, like mostly articles that relate to his campaign. But for some reason, he went there, and the articles had no relation to him or his campaign. Maybe 10% of the articles on the news tab actually were related to his campaign. The 90% of the articles that were on there as well, most of them didn't relate to anything that had to do with him. Because he went there and saw mainly articles that talked about murder, job loss, viruses, bankruptcies, government issues, corporate issues, whatever. And they were all negative articles, all negative news reports that had no relation to his campaign, no relation to him as a candidate. And he wondered, why is this happening? I'm running for office. This doesn't have anything to do with me. Why do I have to sit here and see this? So he went on Twitter, talked about it, filled the Yang Gang in, and I think some saw it. I don't know if you guys saw it. If you did, then it's definitely a problem. But I don't think anyone that was most of the Yang Gang, I don't think saw it. But he went on Twitter, talked about it. He went on YouTube, talked about it in interviews. And he believes, and there's definitely some merit to this claim. There is truth to it, I think. This is a conspiracy, and he believes the conspiracy that his Google search results are being manipulated, that it's being done by the Sinclair Broadcasting Group. Now, this is a valid claim, not only because Jonathan is a great guy and he's trustworthy and he's honest. It's not just that. It's that if you look at who's posting this manipulation and manipulating the algorithm, you clearly see a trend. So if you look here on the screen, I will post, here is an image of just me searching up his name, and this is just what I got as a result on the news tab. You can see the first page here, the top article is related to his campaign. And if you go down, you can see that there's all these random articles. Astronauts arriving for NASA's first home launch. YouTube reinstates hydroxychloroquine. County prepares for holiday weekend. Volkswagen pulls car ad after outcry. NYC virus tests. Here's one, New York Board of Elections. That one's about the lawsuit, so that one is kind of related to him in a way. This one's about Biden, and this one's about the Senate. And then here's one down below. It's the ones that they endorse. This website endorses for Congress. So you can see here that there's clearly an issue. 10% of the articles are related to him. 90% are related to random events in the world. And if you look at these websites that are posting these links to the articles on the news tab, you have KMPH, Fox 26, and you have KHQA.com. Now, Fox 26 KMPH is obviously Fox, but KHQA is ABC. But if you didn't know, they're both owned by the Sinclair Broadcasting Group. Now, the Sinclair Broadcasting Group is a telecommunications corporation that runs different news stations across the country. And you may not know who they are, but if you look on the screen, you'll see why, and this might trigger a memory from a few years back. So yeah.
Fox San Antonio's Jessica Headley.
And I'm Ryan Wolf.
Our greatest responsibility is to serve our
Treasure Valley communities,
the El Paso, Las Cruces communities,
Eastern Iowa communities,
Mid-Michigan communities.
We are extremely proud of the quality, balanced journalism that CBS 4 News produces.
But we are concerned about trouble and trend of irresponsible, one-sided news stories.
Years back. So yeah, that is the Sinclair Broadcasting Group, the ones responsible for that fake news scandal, the ones that were responsible for that whole issue. So looking at that, it's clear that they've already been involved in scandal, that they've already done something wrong. And now that you look at this and see that there is multiple sites manipulating these news stories to show up on Jonathan's search results, it's clear that this is their doing, because if they have done that scandal in the years prior, there's no reason to believe that they aren't doing it now, because they are. It's proof that if they've done that scandal before with fake news and manipulating the media, they're clearly doing it again. Now, how are they doing it? Well, it's simple. The website description is not set to show a certain line from the article. It's set to show the same repeated line about the lawsuit. So in the description it says, of course, the attorney Jeff Curzon representing Yang and Jonathan Herzog. And it says that same exact description for each article. None of the articles have a different description. And then you would think, okay, well then maybe they're talking about it they talk about it in the article. So you click on the link and go to the article. You read the article and find that there's no mention of this attorney, Yang, or Jonathan at all. So clearly there's something wrong. So when they put this description in their link for their website for the articles that they're posting on the news tab, they can manipulate the results, because if it has Jonathan's name in it, it's going to show up on the news tab. So seeing as Google allows this allows the algorithm to put these articles on there due to his name being used in the description, they're manipulating the algorithm and showing these negative articles in an attempt to try to make his associate his image and his campaign with negative events. So this is a problem. This is an issue. I don't know what we need to do other than, fight back. But this has been going on for a few weeks now, that they've been posting these articles with these descriptions that have nothing to do with Jonathan or his campaign, that are trying to manipulate and associate his campaign and his election with negative events. Now, Jonathan has contacted the appropriate organizations. He's contacted the FBI. He's contacted the Fair Elections organization, whatever that's called, the department, the Fair Elections Department, whatever it's called, that the government runs, to try and see about having this stopped. I don't know if the FBI has contacted him back or has responded to any of his inquiries, but it is certain that the FBI does have awareness of the issue, because of course he sent the message to them about this issue, and I'm guaranteeing that they have at least seen it and they have at least looked into it. I'm not sure if they've responded or if they're going to respond, but at least they've seen it and they're hopefully working on a remedy the situation. But for now, all we have is nothing but the assurance that the FBI has at least seen it. I don't think they've done anything yet. Hopefully they do something against it, but right now it's just up to us. The FBI is not looking into this currently. They've got the message, they're checking it out, but they haven't done any sort of effort into actually trying to solve this issue. So what we have here is manipulation by the Sinclair Broadcasting Group of the search terms on the news tab by two websites. We have a clear attempt and intent to subvert the articles that are positive and talk about Herzog's campaign, and show negative articles to associate his campaign with negative events. They're trying to make him and his campaign seem negative and make him be associated with negativity, because I don't know if Jerry Nadler is associated with Sinclair Broadcasting Group or if he's connected in any way, but for some reason they're going after Jonathan and they're trying to take him out. What can we do to stop this? Well, we can fight back on Twitter. We can fight back on Twitter, Facebook, social media in general. We can call them out. We can make awareness, because what we should try to do and what we need to have as our goal in fighting back against this manipulation and this harassment is we need to get people to help out. We got to get people on board, and the only way to get people on board is to make this situation, expose it, bring light to the situation, and bring awareness to the situation. Once we get the people on board, the media will take it and will run with it. I think that the media organizations that aren't run by Sinclair Broadcasting Group will definitely comment on the situation, will definitely call out the group for attacking this candidate. And I think that even maybe if it gets big enough, we may even have late night talk show hosts, because I know the late night talk show hosts talked about the original Sinclair Broadcasting Group scandal. So if we get this big enough, we can have Jimmy Kimmel, Jimmy Fallon, Conan, Colbert, Seth Meyers. They'll talk about this. I'm sure they will, because it's involving political manipulation. So I think that they will cover the story, and that we can get justice for this absurd circumstance. But it's going to take all of us. It's going to take all of us on social media, Facebook, Twitter, anything. And we're going to have to really fight back against this issue, fight back against this corporation, and show them that they cannot do this willingly, that they will not be able to subvert our elections and manipulate our candidates' images through google.com or anywhere for that matter. We can fight back and we can do this, but we all have to come together and make it known and make this issue apparent, because I don't think that no one really knows and no one really cares, and the only way to really get justice is to make an issue bigger than it normally would be, and make it worth talking about. So if we make this issue bigger than it already is, make a big deal out of it, I think that we'll get more people that will hear this problem, hear our side of the story, see that there is a bigger issue at hand, and they'll start talking about it, and they'll start demanding that things be solved. And eventually that'll lead to the news media corporations having to cover it, having to talk about it. More articles will be produced, and eventually, hopefully, late night talk show hosts talk about it as well, because that's where a lot of people like to go for politics and information for that. So that's what we got to do. That's what we got to do, Yang Gang. We got to come back. We got to fight. We got to come together, make this situation a bigger issue than it already is, and show people that this matters and that this is important, that we fight for this, and that they need to join us and help us end this scandal, because we can't do it alone. We can't do it alone. And right now, as it stands, they have the power. The corporation has the power, and we're just sitting here watching them do what they want. But if we actually help out, and we actually do what's right and get people on board and the news media on board, we can take them down and we can win. And then we can get back to working on winning the election for Jonathan, because that's ultimately what we want to do, win this election in New York's 10th district and get back on track to doing what's right for the people. And sadly, the Sinclair Broadcast Group is just another wall in our path. Thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. This is Dark Knight, signing off.
It was all a dream. I used to read Word Up magazine. Salt and pepper and Heavy D up in the limousine. Hanging pictures on my wall. Every Saturday, rap attack Mr. Magic Molly Mall. I let my tape rock till my tape pop. Smoking weed and bamboo, sipping on private stock. Way back when I had the red.